So, welcome along to another Pixiecast. It's number 27 in the series, and I am back in the UK, having recently been in the States and Australia. And this time I'm relatively close to home, over in the central eastern, I suppose, side of the UK, in lovely Buckinghamshire and High Wycombe specifically. And it is Jeremy Fenton. Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good to see you again. You and I, we met, didn't we? The one and only time we met was at Pixies concert, which was at Birmingham.
In Birmingham, yeah. And what a great day that was.
It was, yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about High Wycombe.
High Wycombe, I've been here about 12 years. My work brought me here. I was working in London at the time, and where I was working, they moved to the High Wycombe area, and I was offered a relocation package to move here. It's great, got great access. It's half an hour away from sort of central London on the train. Can get up to sort of Birmingham in an hour and a half or so. So yeah, location wise, it's great. And yeah, there's just plenty going on. I grew up in Oxford. That's about 40 minutes away. So close to lots of friends, family, and since being here, just building a new circle of friends. But no, very, very happy here.
So born and bred in Oxford, which is why you're an Oxford United fan.
Absolutely, through and through.
Okay, I won't remind you the time that
I did start out as a Liverpool fan.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay. We all start out as Liverpool fans.
Yeah, back in the 80s.
Yeah. When they used to win everything.
Which is why I supported
like
them.
They are now.
Yeah, wow. But no, when I was about 10 years old, I wrote a letter to Liverpool Football Club, just saying I was a huge fan and wishing them well for the forthcoming season.
Yeah.
I got a letter back inviting me up for a stadium tour.
Wow.
And yeah, so I went up with my mother, took me up for a couple of days. Got to Anfield. They took me on a tour around the stadium.
Brilliant.
Met Bob Paisley, who was the manager at the time.
Fabulous.
As part of the stadium tour, which was just me, they took me into the trophy cabinet, which was packed with trophies. I lifted the European
Cup
at the time, but yeah, the European Cup.
Yeah, it was the European Cup back then, yeah.
So yeah, I got a picture of me holding that. I could just about lift it. I was about 10 years old. Took me into the changing rooms, and in the changing rooms, all the players' clothes were there because they'd been in to get changed to go and have training, which was off site. And they said, "Oh, if you can wait around 3 hours, you can meet the team." But
Wow.
we had trains booked and couldn't. But
okay.
I got a photo of me when I'm sat in front of Kenny Dalglish's sort of peg with all his his clothing hanging up and such. No, it's brilliant. But the Oxford connection, my dad took me to an Oxford game. I think it was against Chesterfield in '82 at the Manor Ground. For anyone who knows,
I know the Manor Ground. Yeah,
and yeah, it just the atmosphere. It just blew me away, and because of where I was living, it was just far more accessible to get to games. And yeah, I had season ticket there for about 6 seasons. Missed one game in 6 seasons at home.
Probably an Exeter City game.
No, the game I missed was we were at home to Ipswich, 3-0 down at half time, and I was so glad I wasn't there. Final score, we won 5-3. It was like, damn.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah. So yeah, try and get along as often as I can.
Excellent, good man. And High Wycombe, nice and close to Windsor Castle, a bit posh around there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I actually work in Slough, where the Office
not quite so
TV
posh,
program is based. But very almost next door, you got Windsor Castle. So at work, anytime, well, prior to COVID, anytime we go out to celebrate or have a bite to eat, a few drinks, it's Windsor. So yeah, it's quite fortunate to have that on the doorstep.
Of course, it's Slough, isn't it? John Betjeman poem, isn't it? Come friendly bombs and fall on Slough. It isn't fit for humans now.
Sounds about right.
I think it was John Betjeman. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong.
With COVID, and I can work from home. So
And what is it that
happy
you
with
do
that.
then to
I work
keep you in the manner that you're accustomed?
I work in it's a hybrid role between sales and marketing.
Right.
Work with retail customers, and yeah, it's a bit of sort of consultancy work as well. So I work very closely with customers, basically just looking for opportunities to drive and grow their business.
Okay.
And
So that can be any sort of business then?
the industry I'm working in is decorative. So I work for a paint company.
Okay.
Dulux Paint.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyone in the UK that's painting or decorating, give me a shout because I can get you some very good discount, half price.
I will
Made
tell
me
my
laugh
wife.
when you were catching up with the Shirleys and they were talking about their love of paint. I had to bite my lip. But
they'll be on to you after watching this.
Oh, please do. I mean, we I get nothing for it. It's just basically helping out friends, family. But we are encouraged to offer our discount, and don't be put off by location because we have shops dotted around the country. And if you wanted, I don't know, a load of paint, tell me what you want. I can order it, and then it will get delivered to you within about 48 hours.
Brilliant.
Free of charge.
Excellent.
So, and this isn't a sales pitch because it makes no odds to me if you buy or not. It's just trying to help out people if they are painting.
And have you got anyone that you can send down to actually do the painting as well? Because I hate DIY.
I've been the last couple of weekends. I've been painting a bedroom, and blasting out off the back of the Pixiecast. I've listened and watched a few whilst painting.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Well, no, it is because a lot of them, it's just good background noise. But the when you were catching up with Helen,
yes,
I just had to stop and watch because I needed to see all the facial reactions when doing the League of Gentlemen and such.
Yeah, that was quite a moment.
Yeah, and I was bursting out laughing watching that. So.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the Dean Young one that I've just recently posted or not. You probably haven't had a chance to watch that one yet, but
no,
that was similarly enjoyable, but for a different reason. And actually, in that one, embarrassingly, I referred to Helen Owen as Helen Young. Don't know why. I don't know if it's because I was talking to Helen Young or Dean Young.
Yeah,
I do actually know a Helen Young, so my apologies to Helen Owen. She'll get me back for it at some point, I know. So
yeah, no, I've watched everyone. Well, apart from the Dean one, that must have gone up today.
Yeah, earlier today.
So yeah, I'll watch that later today. But no, I don't know. I just find it really interesting finding out more about people. And hats off to you for setting this up and investing your time.
Thank you. Well, I'm not doing too much at the minute, so
yeah,
got to fill my time somehow. It's either that or looking for work. So this is far more fun.
Indeed.
Anyway, so Pixies.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Pixies.
I can't remember what year it was that I got into the Pixies. It was either 89 or 90. And like other people, it was John Peel. Mm-hmm. Big fan of John Peel, listening to his shows on radio, because it just opened up your eyes to music that, bands you'd never heard of, because the majority of radio stations just played mainstream stuff. So yeah, it was just got hooked. The first, I don't know what the first song I heard was. It was either Debaser or Something Against You, and yeah, without sounding a bit of a cliche, it absolutely changed my life because I've just been following their career, their development, their solo careers since, and just been absolutely hooked.
And what other sort of music were you into at the time?
So at the time, I was heavily into Radiohead, although I think that was a few years later. Wonder Stuff, Pop Will Eat Itself. So that genre of the Wonder Stuff, Pop Will Eat Itself, and the Neds, always referred to as Grebo music from sort of Stourbridge in Birmingham. Big fan of that. The Levellers. Big fan of them. New Model Army, and then a few
You haven't got a
American
pair of
bands.
clogs, have you?
I haven't got a pair of clogs, no. But the big fan of Faith No More.
Okay.
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Uh-huh.
Nirvana, later on, 9 Inch Nails.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a real big sort of metal head. Loved the likes of Guns N' Roses, Metallica. But hearing Pixies, and no one had really in my circle of friends had really heard of them. Within my circle of friends, only a couple of them really kind of got them. So there was quite a few of my friends that was like, nah, not for me. But I really liked the diversity in the loud, quite loud songs, the real sort of shouty ones. Something Against You, love it. Live is just blows your mind. And there's most albums, there's a few good shouty ones, but I also like the slower ones as well. So I guess my taste in music is quite diverse.
Yeah. So you like to get down the front then, do you? A live gig and put it about a bit?
Yeah. So in the 90s, I was at Brixton for one of the Pixies gigs and stayed with a mate right down the front. Halfway through the act, he got pulled up by a security guard and just in the mosh pit, absolutely.
Excellent.
So many a time I've come out of a gig, not so much in the last 10 years or so, but come out of the gig just wringing wet,
battered and bruised.
Absolutely, yeah. But I'm quite tall, so
you are. Well, everyone's quite tall compared to me, but
can pretty much hold my own. But I quite like that as well. I've got tickets for the Idols in next year. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a bit of a dust up. Well, I've got I've got two of their shows. Got 2 tickets for both. My wife's not interested. I said, well, you come away with a good trophy, Bruce, and she's like, you're not selling it to me. So I'll probably nearer the time shout out if anybody wants to come along. Some likelihood is I'll have a spare ticket, which I know I'll easily be able to sell. But further throw out to this audience first.
Is that in London? Is it?
No, I've gone Birmingham, and then they recently announced just some smaller gigs, and there's one in Oxford. So Oxford's really close to me, and the one in Oxford, I think the venue is about 200-300 people, if that. So it's going to be quite lively.
Yeah, lucky to get a ticket, I'd imagine, for that, for a small capacity.
Yeah, the tickets went on sale at 5, and I had the email receipt at 1 minute past 5, so really happy about that. I didn't think I'd even, I didn't think it'd progress, but it did. So,
fan of the band from an early age, then?
Yes, yeah.
Early in their career, and a fan to this day. So you stuck with them?
Yeah. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, Charles's music is very much at the forefront of other bands sort of come and go in terms of I really like them and I carry on liking them, but the Pixies and some of the solo material, it's always been at the forefront.
Favorite album? Sorry.
Favorite album? Really torn, but I would say Doolittle would just edge it.
Good man.
But yeah, massive fan of Surfer Rosa as well. That'd be a really close second.
So the stuff before the breakup then would you say is your favourite sort of era?
I guess it's just got a bit more sentimental value. I'm really big fan of the more recent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think Indie City gets a bit of a hard time because I think it's got some absolute classics on there. And Head Carrier, again, I think they've really sort of matured, as you'd expect, as their careers progressed. And Beneath the Eyrie, it's just they're just absolutely gelling as a band, and seeing them live, they're just so sort of sharp and absolutely on it. And that's just, years of being in that environment and stuff. But yeah, no, they just absolutely blow my mind, as most people would agree. That's why they're in the group.
So Doolittle's your favourite album. Favourite track?
Favourite overall track?
Yeah.
It would have to be. I've thought long and hard about this because it could differ by day, but if they knocked on the door as a band and said, right, we're going to play one song, I'd have to go Gouge Away. Okay. I know a few other people have picked that as well.
Yeah, that's the favourite one at the minute.
And what I really like with some of their older stuff, they've, in more recent times I've seen them, they've just made a few minor changes to some of the songs.
Yeah.
So I've seen Gouge Away done slightly differently more recently, and things like Nimrod Sun, seen a real sort of stripped back, more sort of, I don't know, just a more sort of gentle version, and then sort of building up to a bigger crescendo, and then sort of going wild. But yeah, really like that kind of setup.
Okay, so Gouge Away. How did you feel when they split up after Trompe le Monde?
Initially, absolutely devastated, because they're a massive part of my life at that time. And I mean, then Kim was releasing material with the Breeders, and I was hoping that the remaining members of the band would bring out separate material. And they're not the first band to split up. They won't be the last. And other bands have gone on to sometimes bigger and better things. So I was hopeful other material would land. And yeah, I mean, at the time, I think it was not too long after that, or it might have been but I was probably given a bit more airtime to some other bands. And then before we knew it, his first solo album came out. And what a belter that was.
Absolutely.
So, it was a case of, well, okay, for me, it almost just felt like a natural progression. And yes, missed not having the Pixies around as a band, but it just felt okay, well, this is a real good sort of substitute.
Yeah.
And again, just really enjoyed that material.
And a favourite from his solo career, from Charles' solo career?
I would probably go for Threshold Apprehension.
Okay. That one's had a few shout-outs, actually.
Yes, yeah. It just feels, I could close my eyes and just picture the Pixies playing that. And I've been fortunate enough to catch that live on tour. And yeah, Charles, pretty much really sort of got behind it and dancing away and just going absolutely wild. So that's what we want to see.
Absolutely. I see you've got a Pixies t-shirt on there today.
Yes. So I was digging through. I don't actually have that many, unlike others. So this is one. It's got their faces of the.
Dates back to Kim's time.
Kim. And
yeah, very good.
But this was a gift for me, Christmas present, about 15 years ago. The other t-shirts I have are just the group ones. So I've not from the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah,
keeping it in the family.
Keeping it in the family, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Excellent. And so Frank's solo career, and then on to the Catholics. I think you're quite a fan of the Catholics as well, aren't you?
Yes. So the Frank's other solo albums, and then there was then he got together with the Catholics, and for me the Catholics, their albums for me, I pretty much saw it on parity with the Pixies.
Okay.
Huge fan of the material, whole array of albums. I was at the time, when the albums were coming out, I was literally buying them on day of release and just playing them to death. So big fan. I was fortunate enough that I've seen the Catholics live a few times.
Yeah.
I really like the energy that Rich Gilbert, one of the guitarists, and Dave Phillips, seeing them live. Rich Gilbert, for me, is probably the best guitarist I've ever seen live. And I've seen a few bands. I think I'd probably give James a good run for his money on 200 to 300 gigs.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you bump into each other a lot then?
Only at Pixies gigs. Might say more going forward, but no, I've been quite a hardcore gig goer since I was about 15 or so. But no, seeing Rich Gilbert, there's quite a few videos on YouTube of him playing with the Catholics, and yeah, so talented, but so full of energy. He's got a real unique and distinctive way of moving and stuff while he plays, and it just works for me. And Dave Phillips does a lot more of the slide guitar, but yeah, I've done quite a bit of digging around online to see what he's up to these days, but he's difficult to track down and see. Okay. But no, very, very talented.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, a bit big fan, and yeah, I'm secretly hoping one day the Catholics will reform, but I'll
not at the expense of Pixies, eh?
No. But so yeah.
So have you seen Pixies play quite a few times over the years?
I think it's probably near the 20-ish mark.
Okay.
Just in the UK. I'd love to see them abroad.
First time, do you remember?
First time was Brixton Academy.
Everyone seemed to have been at Brixton Academy.
I know
they've played there more than once, but
yeah, I mean, I've seen at Brixton Academy probably about 12 times.
Okay, right.
And I don't think it was the first. I think the second time I saw them was at the Crystal Palace gig that James was at. So
okay.
And I did find. So that was my ticket from the Crystal Palace gig. So that was 91.
Yeah.
The other thing I found in my archives was the program.
Oh wow! Brilliant.
So this is the program for
cool.
And there's, I mean, Ride were one of the support bands, but
never mind.
maybe Ride were an Oxford band, so it's quite a few good Oxford bands.
I know they are.
Yeah,
there's quite a few people on the group who like Ride. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I perhaps I should photograph that and share it with the team. Yeah. But so yeah, that was a really strange concert because
what, the Crystal Palace one?
The Crystal Palace one, because there was a big open lake between the crowd and the stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was strange. And then during Where Is My Mind, somebody broke out from the crowd and swam across the lake to the stage, and then security stepped in and such. But yeah, probably my most memorable gig, Pixies gig, would be, I think it was, you know, there's lots of footage from '91 on YouTube of the Pixies concert. I think it was included as part of the Minotaur package, recording. The day before that gig, I was at, and it was I think it was a couple of months before Bossa Nova was released, but they started off. So you know when you're at a gig, the lights, there's different music playing, and then the lights go down, the music stops, and the band's coming on. There was a big see-through net covering the stage, and separating the crowd from the stage.
Yeah.
And then the way the lighting was, you could see the band walking on the stage, and you could just see silhouettes.
Okay.
And they just ploughed through Cecilia Ann.
Yeah.
This like net curtain was still hanging.
Yeah.
And they were just, thrashing out Cecilia Ann.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at the end of the song, the whole net curtain just dropped.
Yeah.
So you could actually see the band, and then bang, straight into rock music.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a feisty.
That was the
one.
Bossa Nova tour. Yeah. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I saw them in Exeter do that. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I found, I know they've just released, but this is the original vinyl of Bossa Nova.
Okay. Very good.
Which I don't have a record player anymore, so I've got these records. So I've got hundreds of records, but I can't play them. I need to invest. But and the other thing, and the only reason I bought this, Andrew, is based on a comment you made. I believe that's your favourite Pixie song.
It is.
Valoria?
Yeah, I've got that as well. But I've got that on tape.
Wow.
But with the same cover. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's been some really good shows, and I think taking it, adding another kind of dimension is off the back of the group, just going along to a concert and bumping into other people from the Facebook group.
Yeah.
So I bumped into Adele a few times, and others. There was a warm up for the Hyde Park gig at Cambridge.
Yeah.
Back in a few years ago, and then there was a bigger gathering for the Birmingham where I met you for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then more recently, just over a year ago, for the Beneath the Eyrie tour at Alexandra Palace.
Right,
a handful of us met in a pub beforehand, and such. That was really good. And James from the US came over, and Tim was there with his wife as well.
Yeah.
So it's great just to meet other people within the group, and also the one of the ones at the Camden Roundhouse. I only went for the one. I think the one night.
I was there. I was there on Halloween for that one.
Right.
But I think you must have been there a different night. So.
Yeah, I was there on Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
And just works better for me from a work perspective. Finish work early, and get over to London. But
and living where you are, Reading festivals as well, just down the road.
Reading Festival.
When it used to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I've been twice. I've enjoyed it. It's not for me. I mean, everyone's got an opinion, but for me, Glastonbury is the festival.
I'm just thinking about the time that Pixies played at Reading, and Frank Black played Reading as well.
Yes, I like going to a festival, but I wouldn't book it. If the Pixies were playing next year, I wouldn't book to go because I'm not a big fan of seeing them in a big festival.
Okay.
I know they've done Hyde Park, and there was supposed to be Sport and Pearl Jam. Could have gone, but I know it's going to be a shortened set, and they're going to, you're not going to be able to get up as close and such. So I tend to stay away from those, but always look out because they often do a low key warm up.
Mm-hmm.
So the gig they did at Cambridge a few years ago before the Hyde Park gig, I mean that was in a tiny little venue, and that was pretty amazing. So yeah, that's where my preferences would be.
So you reckon you can match James Skene then for the number of gigs that you've been to? So do you remember your very first gig?
Well, and I can.
Was it something embarrassing? Mine's embarrassing. My parents took me to see Hot Chocolate.
Oh, I've got some embarrassing ones.
And Gary Glitter as well. I've seen as well, but we won't go into that. The first gig I went to was exactly the same as James. The Alarm. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good start.
It went downhill after that, and then it picked up again. It's the Alarm at the Aston Villa Leisure Centre.
Okay.
Late 80s. And I then went to see. Yeah, went to see a few embarrassing ones as well.
Go on, tell us.
I went I went to see Take That, who was supported by Westlife.
Interesting. Okay.
Not my choice. I was going out with a girl at the time who was a big fan, and those are the sort of
It's
things
probably
you
a
do.
decent show, though, wasn't it? They put on a good show.
Yeah, it was okay. I've seen Steps. I went.
Okay. That's
not
more
not.
embarrassing, isn't it? Surely.
Well, it was the same girl I was going out with. It was what her cup of tea was.
Funny how you're no longer going out with her.
Well, funny that. I've seen Take That Again. That was a work thing. We were entertaining a customer, and that was at Wembley.
Okay.
But that was good because I could sit down. It was, no desire to be. Not that there is a mosh pit for a Take That gig, but yeah, I had quite a few gigs lined up for this year that are now going to be for next year.
Sure.
I bought these tickets for the Idols, thinking they're probably not even going to happen, but you've got to be in it, haven't you, in it to win it.
Have they got a new album out today? Haven't they? Is it today?
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, different tracks have been released, and you can catch them on social different formats, etc. I've just held back till today, and Jesus, yeah. So working from home, I have music blasting out. Got the album, and yeah. If you like,
and what about your wife? Has she got similar tastes in music?
She's
or is she into Take That and Steps as well?
No, oh God, no. Her favourite band would be either Blur or the Divine Comedy.
Oh, okay.
So I've been to see the Divine Comedy a few times in recent years. Really good live. I know Peter Norris. I think he went on the last tour as well. And I know Peter's a big Blur fan. I don't know what your problem is.
We won't talk about that.
But they put it. They're really good live. I saw them a few times in the 90s on the Park Live tour. And then
I have seen Blur live actually at the V Festival in Chelmsford. Okay. Yeah. However many years ago.
Oh, another band I really like, and they always put a good show on. And the last time I saw them, Adele was there. And
what, Adele from the group or Adele the singer?
Adele from the group.
Okay. So the proper Adele then? The
proper Adele.
Yeah.
So I met her, that was at the Alexandra Palace. That was the Prodigy.
Okay, yeah.
And they were
I bet.
You knew you'd been to a gig after that.
I bet, yeah.
But I believe they're writing new material now without Keith. But
okay.
Yeah, so really into them as well.
So a very understanding wife then, clearly.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, her view is, well, if you want to go, just go. I mean, often she finds out because she reads it on Facebook. No, she
hopefully beforehand and not afterwards. Oh, so that's where you were.
Sorry, yeah. Once I bought the ticket.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we started going out in 2004, and so the Pixies did a residency at Brixton Academy for their sort of reforming.
Mm-hmm.
I got tickets for every night for that. That was, I can't remember if they did 4 or 5 nights, but I went along to those. But I did take her along. They did a warm-up gig at the Town and Country in I think the same year or the year after. It might have been 2005, ahead of Reading. That's one of the reasons I didn't go to the Reading Festival show, because I got to see them in London in a smaller venue. Sure. So we hadn't been going out that long actually, and she was working in central London, and I met her after work, and it would have been the summer with the Reading Festival, and she was in flip flops. I was like, okay. So no, she's not really into the Pixies at all. I think it's a bit too sort of loud and heavy for her, but she's very supportive for me. So good. Yeah, she wouldn't stand in my way to get to a gig.
Excellent. And people that you've met up with from the group. Obviously, we met up with you in Birmingham and that. So
yes. So I'm paranoid. I'm probably going to forget some people, but so Adele that I've already mentioned. John Cole, he was at the Birmingham.
Oh, he
wasn't
crops up everywhere, doesn't he? Yeah.
Adam,
Yeah.
yeah, both London and Birmingham. I mentioned Tim and
Yeah.
James from the US. James from Kent a
Uh-huh.
couple of times.
Yeah.
Phil,
Uh-huh.
he's good. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else was at the Alexandra Palace. There were loads of people.
Yeah, there were. I can't remember now, but you made some good friends from the group though, which is
Yes,
one of the great things about it.
Oh, completely. And yeah, I mean, what a thing to set up. And you know, hats off to Pixie Mum. She's set up something absolutely incredible.
Yeah, she really has.
But the when I saw them in Birmingham, they were doing their record signing.
Yes.
And
yeah.
so I went along. I went along to that during the day. Now, at the time, I didn't know him, but Lee Phillips, he was about 2 or 3 ahead of me in the queue
with his skateboard, which isn't
with his
skateboard. It's some other kind of board. He did tell me what it was, but I've forgotten.
Okay, but I didn't know him at the time. And then there was another guy on the group. So after meeting the band, I was just like loitering around in the record shop and stuff. And there was another guy there, and we got chatting. And he was on the group. John Grid. Oh, I'm going to get his surname wrong now.
Sorry, don't worry.
Gridley. Okay. Really good guy. He came down. Basically, I think he lives up in Yorkshire, but works. I think he worked quite local to Birmingham, and I don't think he had tickets for the gig, but he came along for the book signing.
Oh, okay, right.
Sort of book signing, record signing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no, there's some really nice people on the group.
And did you get anything signed by the band? Get to meet them?
Yeah. So at the Roundhouse gig for the Surfer Rosa 30 years, I purchased a tea towel of the album cover.
Right.
And
I didn't know such a thing existed, but
I got it downstairs. But I took that along. Joey thought it was hilarious that I had the Pixies had a tea towel.
Yeah.
I had a T-shirt signed, and then I had the album.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it was it's quite a surreal moment, you know, following this band for ages and being so kind of close and in their, you know, immediate company. I mean, you're a few feet away, but I've also met a few of the band. So I've met Joey and Charles after when they did the gig in Cambridge. I got there really early, and I could hear the band sort of sound checking and warming up. A couple of hours before the gig, and and then just as I was, because I parked up nearby, heard it and thought, wow, and was like listening in, seeing what I could hear. It finished, and I thought, right, okay, I'll go and grab a bite to eat. And then the band came out. So I got chatting to Joey and Charles for probably a nanosecond, but it felt like, you know, a good chunk of time. Got some autographs, and it's just great to see them.
I always find those sort of things quite uncomfortable, and you sort of like you never really know what to say in that, do you? So,
absolutely, and they must get it all the time. They're probably really used to it, but and it's, I think in a previous conversation with somebody else on a Pixiecast, you had this kind of conversation, and someone was saying, "Oh, you know, to be sort of pre-armed," but I don't know. I guess you don't know it's going to happen, and it happens, and it's like, I just know
there they are suddenly in front of you.
Yeah, no, completely. But.
And we were talking about Catholics, but I didn't get you to nail down. No, that's okay. I didn't get you to nail down a favourite Catholics track.
I would probably go for Cold Heart of Stone.
Okay. Why is that?
It just, I don't know, it just really makes my hairs on my neck just really sort of stand up, and I think there's a lyric in the song, "Chilling My Bones," and I just, it does give me a chill through my body just listening to it. It's so I don't know, sort of gratifying and heartwarming, and just really hits me. And, you know, certain songs do that to certain people, and yeah, this, I guess within that band, it, you know, and set up that's the one that just really gets me. Western Star would be really up there as well. I think that's a really,
that seems to be a favourite for everyone. Yeah,
really beautiful song. But yeah.
And of course, yesterday, a new single released.
Yes.
By the band. Have you had a chance to listen to it yet?
Yes, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Close Your Eyes.
Paz on lead vocals.
Straight away, you know, it's a distinctive Pixies sound, but just lovely to hear, you know, a different, you know, hear Paz's voice. I think her voice is just stunning, and I think her addition to the band, you know, it's just taken them to another level. And Kim was fantastic, but you know, things have moved on. I think Paz has really slotted in well, and I'd be really intrigued to see the next direction for the band. But it feels as if Paz is going to be more involved with writing songs, and also, you know, taking a lead on the vocals, which to me it's great, because it's just you know, the band are evolving and such, and
I guess the more she sings, the less screaming and shouting Charles has to do now as he's getting a little bit older.
Oh, there is that. Yeah, absolutely.
You can
absolutely
step back a little bit.
Yeah, no, completely.
Good, excellent. Okay, well, we are pretty much at the end. I've just got that one final question for you, which you know what this is, don't you?
Sure do.
The Joe Kirkham question. And I don't know why I keep looking at this. I pretty much know off by heart now. So you're in a dream, and suddenly you find yourself naked on stage in front of thousands and thousands of Pixie fans, and they all want to know which Pixies track you're going to sing. What's it going to be, Jeremy?
Well, for me, and this is just how my mind works, I guess there's a bit of
it's not for you, it's for all those Pixie fans.
No, but the way my mind works, I think it's probably in a similar league to Joe. The obvious one is gigantic.
Absolutely. Somebody had to say it.
Well, and I'm surprised, you know, nobody has so far. That would be the obvious one, but...
Oh, so you're not going for the obvious? But
no, I mean, joking aside, I mean, I can't sing for love or money.
So it's got to be a screaming one then?
It would have to go, I'd have to go for an absolute screamer. So I think Bowles Back.
Bowles Back.
Yeah, that's what I'd go for.
That's a good shout.
Just a real,
yeah.
Get everything out of my system and
get everything out, literally. Yeah.
Well, precisely. So.
And get off stage, or are you coming back for an encore?
Wow, we'll never know, will we? No,
if you have that dream, don't let me know what the ending is. So.
I will be off that stage as soon as I could. Don't know. Who knows? I might just jump in the mosh pit.
Absolutely. There you go. That would make someone's evening.
Oh. I have seen a band where the lead singer's got naked and
have you?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Pulp play Exeter University, and at the time they were supported by a famous band actually in kind of sort of folklore called Minty. I don't know if you've heard. Do you know Lee Bowery, who was an Australian? He's dead now. He was like a painter, and he had this band called Minty, and he was like the lead singer. But his wife carried on the band afterwards, and she was known for actually going on stage naked.
Right.
And so they were supporting Pulp at Exeter University, and she came on. Sometimes she was allowed to do it, depending. I think she had to get clearance from local councils and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obscenity rules and laws or whatever. But she actually came on stage and she performed naked under this sort of like massive see-through umbrella. It was really quite bizarre. But yeah. So anyway,
well, the keyboardist for the Dandy Warhols, in their early years, she used to play topless.
Okay.
So
never got to see them.
I've seen them, but that was more recently, and yeah, she
Covered up.
She was covered up, but
Okay.
yeah.
Mate, it's been great to catch up with you once more.
Yeah, no, likewise.
And hopefully we'll get to spend a bit more time together at some point at a gig in the not too distant future, and catch up again. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
And you.
All the best.
Cheers, Andy.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.